everyone, and welcome to episode number 195 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. And coming up in today's episode, we do play the second leg of the first knockout round in the 2038 Champions League. We go back home to Iceland with a 3-0 lead against Sporting of Portugal, as well as that, a little bit of a League Cup update, as well as a transfer update. And hopefully, as long as we don't blow things here in the second leg, we should also have the draw for the quarterfinal, semi-final, reveal our road to the final, should we get that far for the Champions League this season. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But we've only played a few games off the back of that first leg in yesterday's episode. If you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. I won't point these days because I'm not quite sure exactly which way is actually right these days with the new setup at the new house. Hopefully things look a little bit better on camera today than they did yesterday, and a little bit of a rush today because we did just have an issue with an electrical socket, so that is why I am just going to be a little bit rushed today. But thankfully we do only have one game, and this is what the ties do look like going into this last match day. Hertha Berlin hold on off the back of a very, very impressive first leg win. They go through 6-3 over Inter Milan. Juventus just get the job done there, 2-1 over Bayern Munich. So Bayern are already knocked out, as are PSG. In the end, they get beaten quite comfortably by the defending champions in Real Madrid. Man United just do enough to get by Valencia there, 3-2 on aggregate. Manchester City in the end quite comfortably beat Barcelona by a scoreline of 5-1, and RB Leipzig have defeated Real Sociedad down there at the bottom by 2-1. I think they're probably the team that most people will be looking forward to playing in the quarterfinals when we do have that draw later on in today's episode. But before then, a quick little domestic recap. As I mentioned, we've played 2 competitive games off the back of yesterday's episode against Por and Hafnarfjordur to round out the group stages of the Dieldebekar, and yet again we did pick up 2 quite comfortable victories. We are still waiting for the semi-final draw for this competition, so we'll bring that to you guys later on in today's episode. But we qualified from that group as the only undefeated team with a very good goal differential there of 36 and conceding absolutely nothing. Having a look at the teams who we could draw from all of these groups in the Dieldebekar this year, Keflavik have actually beaten HK2 top spot in Group B, so HK are out. Group C, Nats KR picked that one up very, very comfortably, and it is Phil Keir who did pick up Group D there over KA, and that was by 3 points. So we will come back later and reveal who we are playing in the semi-final and final, which should be happening before we do play the first leg of the quarterfinals in tomorrow's episode. Hopefully I have enough time to get through both legs of that quarterfinal, but before then, we do need to get past Sporting. And before we do get into the action for the second leg, also a little bit of a transfer update. We have sold one more player, Kelvin Owosu, a player who we have loaned out quite a bit since we signed him back in 2034. As that screen just threw me out there because today I am playing this on my newer, bigger monitor, so we've got a little bit more information on screen for you guys these days due to that. But he's been on loan a couple of seasons since we have signed him from Ghana for £1.1 million. In the end, just didn't quite have the quality to cut it here at Volsungur. We make a slight profit selling him to the UAE, to Al Jazeera for £1.8 million, and that does include a percentage of net sale fee of 30% as well. So Kelvin Owosu is no longer at the club, but that does mean our transfer budget continues to rise just a little bit. For when we are going to try and sign someone, we are now up to £51.6 million and £144,000 of wage a week as well. So hopefully, if we do what we mentioned yesterday, switch Basaro Gay back to centre-back in place of Ali Ramadan, bringing Alain Basicki as a DM, that should give us quite a bit of money to try and really improve that left-wing position if Onyan Mizkic does not perform well here in the latter stages of this season's Champions League. But going into the second leg against Sporting, we do have a little bit of an injury concern. We've got a few players out with the flu here at the moment. We've got Filippo Dinelli and Richard Waswab, 2 centre-backs who do both have the flu, as well as one of our promising centre-backs out with sprained knee ligaments for a few more days, albeit he is unregistered for the Champions League. What that does mean is we are going to try that little thing that we mentioned in yesterday's episode a little bit sooner than we were expecting, and that does mean that Busro Gay is going to be on the right-hand side at centre-back alongside Ali Ramadan. Alain Basiki comes into the DM role with Denali as well as Waswa unavailable for this one. That does mean that Gabriel Kapan makes his way onto the bench as well as Narek Voskanyan, with those two players being injured, but those are the only changes. We should be fine here with a 3-0 lead, especially going back home, and we'll come back shortly with the action from my arena, which is going to be a little bit reduced in capacity at the moment as we do expand it, but we have a 3-0 lead. Hopefully we can extend that and make our way into the quarterfinals in good fashion. And here are the team sheets for this game in today's episode. There we are, as we did run through before, a few changes there in defensive midfield and at centre back. And there are Sporting. They are going to be wearing a light green today, so this could be a little bit colour clashy, but they are playing this time a bit of a 4-3-3, and hopefully we can extend this lead, put on a bit of a show, especially against the Portuguese team with the current coefficient situation, and make our way through to the quarters in good style. And 9 minutes into this one, we have our first highlight here is Martins, who will pump this deep, gets it down to Basaroga. He does head that, but only as far as Angelo, but he does get the ball robbed of him there from Jonathan Berger, and it is Bayer now who plays the ball over the top for Adam Saki, makes his way down the left-hand side, right towards the corner flag. We'll play that back for Bayer, who does a pretty good job there to keep hold of the ball. Ali Ramadan now, though, as we do play it back to our defenders, but eventually we start to get on the front foot again. Some good short passing. Adam Saki with a chance. It's a tackle. It is blocked, but we still have the ball here inside the box, and Adam Saki gets brought down. This could be a chance for us to get off to a flyer here at home after only 10 minutes. I think that foul was just inside the box. Can see it a bit better now on my bigger monitor. Indeed, that is the case. Adam Saki, who earned that penalty, will now get the chance to put us up 1-0 on the day, 4-0 on aggregate, albeit that penalty is pretty bad. It goes more or less straight down the middle. Martins does sort of Hollywood that one a little bit, and in the end, that penalty is saved. So unfortunately, still 0-0 here, but we are 3-0 up on aggregate after 15 minutes of the second leg. And we go forward 10 minutes off the back of that previous highlight. Hopefully that missed penalty there by Adam Saki is not going to cost us too much. Dumbia there gets a foot in on the ball, but unfortunately can't actually win it back for us. And Sporting here do have some position and might just have their tails up a little bit off the back of that penalty miss from Adam Saki. Martins is now on the ball. We'll pump this deep, but that goes straight into the path of Basaro Gay. It's going to be very interesting today to see how he does get on at centre-back with our plans for next season in mind. And we do knock it about the back here. Eventually get out to Bayer. He finds Dumbia, and now it is Agustin Agatigare. Just taking his time here down the right-hand side. Finds Bayer. Some good short passing. Mizkic is in behind. We'll find the bottom right corner, albeit we are going to have to wait here for a VAR check. He might have just been behind the line there of one of the defenders who was marking Adam Saki, and indeed that is the case, and we get a goal which has been coming for just a little while now, obviously off the back of that prior miss from Saki from the penalty spot. This time it's a good finish. Not really too sure where the goalkeeper's going with that dive, but Mizkic puts that in the back of the net. 1-0 Volsungur on the day, 4-0 on aggregate, 20 minutes into the second leg. And very shortly off the back of that first goal, we have a highlight here which does start off with a throw-in to Sporting, looking to play out from the back, and we start to press them fairly high up the field there. They play that back to Martins, gets a big foot on the end of that. Lopez does win that, but thankfully Ramadan is there to get in the way before Sporting can launch an attack to try and get level on the day. And now Agatigare will play this one out to Radenko Prolo as we do it to get back on the front foot. Good interception there, somewhat from Pauletta, but unfortunately for them, the ball does still fall to Jonathan Berger. Now Mizkic, nice ball over the top here for Agatigare. It's somewhat saved there from Martins, but Adam Saki is there to tap that one in the back of the net. This time he will put the ball in the back of the net, and he gets on the score sheet. He probably should have a double by now after missing that earlier penalty, but it does look like this game might go a similar way to what the first league did in yesterday's episode. Saki, right place, right time, even though that did actually come off the inside of the post. He puts that away. 2-0 Volsungur about halfway through the first half of the second leg, and 5-0 on aggregate. And just on the half-hour mark, we are on the attack again. Sporting did hit that ball outside the box, but now Lassana Dumbia makes his way back inside, and we might be on the attack yet again here. Basiki with a shot that would have been An absolute screamer from the defensive midfielder, but it does just come off the upright. Still 2-0 on the day, 5-0 overall with 10 minutes left in the first half of the second leg. And that is half-time in the second leg in a very comfortable position, being 5-0 up overall. And as you could see there briefly, really dominating things stats-wise as well. So we'll tell the boys very happy with how things are going, and we'll get things back underway with no changes. 2-0 up on the day, 5-0 up on aggregate. And about 5 minutes into the second half, we have our first highlight here. Lasana Doumbia with a corner. Basicki gets his head on the end of that, but a really good save there from the Sporting goalkeeper. They clear it away, keep it at 2-0 on the day. And only a few minutes off the back of that previous highlight, we are back down Sporting's end, this time for a free kick. Unfortunately, Basaro Gay cannot be found there at the far post off the back of that free kick from Lasana Doumbia. And now Berger has a lot of time here at left back, as Sporting do seem quite content to sit inside their own half, as they are really on the back foot in this game, I think, so far, yet to fire a shot in this one. And Agatigere now is on the ball for us. We do knock this about our midfielders and our defenders right around the halfway line, but we steadily get on the attack. Mizkic, Saki, nice ball there for Jonathan Berger on the overlap. Bayer, his first attempt does get blocked, but then he takes a very good effort there looking for the top right corner, but another very good save there by Martins in goal for Sporting. And the scoreline could be a lot bigger already, although off the back of that, we do have another corner. They do deal with it through Sporting. Toure will try and get something going here on the counter-attack, and he might do, because Lopez makes his way down the left wing, albeit good slide tackle there from Radenko Krolo. Still 2-0 early in the second half. And we are just shy of the hour mark now for our next highlight. We do have a throw in here looking to keep the foot down on Sporting, and that is only going to hurt their chances. That's a shocking tackle there from Cardosa. He goes off. They are down to 10 men and still 5-0 behind on aggregate. And going forward a few minutes off the back of that red card, we're going to make a substitution. As is mentioned there, top right corner Berger is one yellow card away from suspension. Louis Herrera can come on for him with just under a half hour left. And a few minutes off the back of that first substitution, and with Sporting now down to 10 men, we have another highlight here, as we really do look to put the foot down in the second leg, and we do look to play out from the back there as we were on the attack, but Sporting did clear that, but surely soon enough, we will get back down the end and try and make it 3-0 like we did in the first leg. A nice ball over there from Mizkic for Doumbia, and yet again, really good save from Martins. Doumbia was onside as well. Having a good second half here is the Sporting goalkeeper, keeps it 2-0 on the day. And up to the 76-minute mark now, I think we're going to make our final few substitutions. Elaine Basicki down to a red heart. We will bring on Gabriel Kapam for him. Basaro Gay can go back into his more familiar defensive midfield role. And as well as that, Agustin Agatigere was actually only suggested to play 75 minutes in this game, coming back from a very, very minor injury. So we'll take him off. We'll switch Radenko Krolo to right wing, and Pedro Lemos can come on at right back. Those are all three of our subs. You still 2-0 up with about 15 minutes left. And a couple of minutes off the back of those final few changes, it was Radenko Krolo there who was on the attack. Of course, these days playing at right wing. Sporting did try and get something going there on the counter-attack, but a little bit of a useful block from Ali Ramadan. Nice ball over the top there for Adam Saki. He misses the target. Good chance. And still, we only have a 2-0 lead on the day. And only a few minutes off the back of that big chance for Adam Saki to make it a double. He really should have a hat-trick by this stage of the game. Of course, missing that penalty early on in this one. But yet again, we have the ball and try and make it 3-0 in both of these legs. Louis Herrera will switch this one out to Mizkic. Nice ball played forward yet again. And Adam Saki will this time put it away in the bottom right corner. He does get a double. It's a well and truly due double. As well as mentioned before, he has had a lot of chances, and that makes it 3-0 on the day in both legs, 6-0 overall with 8 minutes left here of the second leg. Another really nice ball there from Mizkic, and Saki this time puts it in the back of the net to make it 3-0 in the second leg. And going forward a few more minutes off the back of that third goal, and yet again Sporting try and hoof one deep, but we do head that one back to Carl Vollen, and yet again we might get a chance here to try and extend our lead, especially against the only 10 men of Sporting. But we are going to be making our way through to the quarterfinal draw for this season's Champions League in quite fine fashion as well. Lasana Doumbia yet again, long ball over the top. Adam Saki with a good chance there for his hat-trick, but yet again blasts it wide, and we do have a free kick not too long off the back of that as we do try and extend our lead. And Basaro Gay, that comes off the underside of the crossbar, and somehow Sporting keep that one from finding the back of the net, only just shy of creeping over the line, and it is still only 3-0 somehow in this one. Yet another late highlight as we do look to wrap things up here in the first knockout round. And Lamos will find Radenko Krolo there right on the edge of the box. But now Anholo will try and get something going here for Sporting on the counter-attack. Kasama, but good interception there from Ali Ramadan. Bayer back to Saki, and Bayer again. Dumbia, good short passing here on the edge of the box, albeit Radenko Krolo does lose out on possession, but Basroge gets it back to us off the back of that long clearance. But a very good performance from us here in the second leg. And Bayer, some good short passing. Miskic, great chance to find the back of the net, but yet again, we missed the target. Coming up now to 2 minutes of added time. We really should have won this game by a more comfortable scoreline than 3-0. You can see there an XG of 4.46, and I'd argue it probably should be a bit higher when you consider one of those XG points would have been for that missed penalty. But in the end, we back up what we did do in that first leg, and we are going through to the second round of the Champions League, the quarterfinals, I should say, off the back of 2 3-0 wins, a 6-0 on aggregate, and playing quite well as well, which is always good in our first couple of games back from the break, which we do have at the end of the Icelandic season. So hopefully we'll only be better going into the quarterfinals. Also going through is Chelsea. They just do enough there to get past Cologne 3-2 on aggregate. So they are all the teams making their way through to the quarterfinals. We'll come back shortly and see who we get for tomorrow's episode, going through off the back of a 6-0 win against Sporting in the first knockout round. And we are back about to take part in the draws for both the quarterfinal and the semi-final for the Champions League, start to reveal our possible path to this season's final, trying to make it for the 6th season in a row. And of course, the board do expect us to make the final at a minimum these days. So that is actually what they do expect from us, and we will see who we get in the next couple of rounds. Before that, we have had the draw for the semi-final of the Dilraba Cup. We get Phil here, so that is actually quite a strong semi-final considering the teams that we do have left. That's the game that we are going to be playing in between now and the first leg of the quarterfinal, which will be coming up in tomorrow's episode. Also, hopefully, a final. The other semi-final is between Nuts KR and Keflavik. As long as we get past Phil here, I think we're going to be a very strong chance of picking up yet another League Cup title here in Iceland. But we are about to take part in the quarterfinal draw for this season's Champions League. We are in there alongside Chelsea, Hertha Berlin, Juventus, Manchester City, Man United, RB Leipzig, and Real Madrid. I think RB Leipzig are probably the team that most people will want here in this round, but we'll see who we get. First up out of the hat is the defending champions in Real Madrid, and it'll be interesting if we did get these guys. Of course, we did actually beat them the last time we played them at the Club World Cup, and indeed we get Real Madrid. I actually would have preferred someone else, but it's going to be an interesting matchup, that one, taking on the team which did beat us in last season's Champions League final, albeit, as I did mention before, off the back of that, we did go and beat them on our way to winning the Club World Cup. So that is a very tasty matchup, albeit we could be going out a little bit earlier than we had hoped for if Real Madrid do something similar to what they did in last season's Champions League final, albeit hopefully over 2 legs. That one will not go to penalties. An all-English matchup there as Chelsea take on Man United. RB Leipzig are going to be in an all-German matchup as they take on Hertha Berlin, these days the Bundesliga champions, and that means that the last tie is going to be between Manchester City and Juventus. So there is your draw for the quarterfinals. It is a rematch from last season's final tomorrow as we do take on Real Madrid. And while we are here, we will also do the draw for the semi-final. First up is Chelsea or Man United. They are taking on the winner of Man City or Juventus, and that means if we make it that far, we are going to play a German team in the semi-finals. We will be playing the winner of RB Leipzig or Hertha Berlin. That does mean if we do make the final, it is probably going to be against English opposition yet again, with Chelsea, Man United, and Man City being 3 of our 4 possible opponents, alongside Juventus, who probably aren't quite as strong as those 3 teams are at this point of the save. But a bit of a tough draw for us there in the quarterfinal, albeit if we get past those guys, I think we should be making the final. At least then we will meet the board's objectives and won't be looking for a new job, which could be interesting if that does actually happen in this save. Now, if we didn't make the final, hopefully we've got enough brownie points on the board where that wouldn't be an issue. But if it was, maybe we look to switch the focus of the save to international management, or maybe we come back in a couple of years' time when the job becomes available yet again and try and rebuild Volsungur back up to being European giants yet again. But hopefully we keep hold of the job and can beat Real Madrid in tomorrow's episode. But that is what is coming up tomorrow. Real Madrid, a rematch of last season's Champions League final. If you did enjoy today's episode, getting past Sporting by a scoreline of 3-0 yet again, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until tomorrow, we hope that I get time to do both legs of that quarterfinal, but either way, we'll at least have one leg of that one, but hopefully I can squeeze things in and play catch up from earlier this week. But until tomorrow, we will take on Real Madrid. Thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.